Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Caitlin from Florals.com and today I have another color theory collab for you all. So I'm doing this series with the Crafty Ways here on YouTube. Her name is Ariana, but we're doing a weekly series where we showcase a monochromatic layout with the colors of the rainbow. So this is the orange week. So last week we did red and next week we'll be doing yellow. So I hope you guys subscribe so you can watch the rest of our journey, and be sure to check out her video down below in the description. So right now I'm going to play with all the orange things that I picked out. As you saw there, I showed you a sketch that I want to use, which is part of the International Scrapbook Day challenges for Spiegel Mom Scraps and Wild Whisper. So if you guys want to check that out, they're over on Instagram. But there's a lot of International Scrapbook Day things going on. I hope you guys are having fun doing all these things and watching all the videos. So happy International Scrapbook Day to all of you. So basically, I have this sketch, and I realized that it only has 2 photos on it, but I have 3, so I'm going to just modify it a little bit. So I have these 3 photos of my boyfriend and I. We went to 3 hockey games in one weekend since it was for the playoff position. And I thought that would be fun. So I'm using this paper, which is from A Walk in the Park by Echo Park, I believe. Yes, by Echo Park, and it's just this beautiful orange chevron. And then I'm using a Studio Calico black and white checkered crossed paper in the back. I'm also utilizing this new tool that I bought called the Tim Holtz Distresser. I have no idea what it's actually called. I threw away the packaging. But it just is a little, it almost looks like a bicycle wheel with a bunch of spokes, but inside the valleys of the spokes there's this little metal disc. You can scrape along paper to give it a distressed look. So I did that on like all of my paper layers for this layout, and it added a lot of texture. I don't know if you can see, but on the orange chevron paper they also have little distress spots in the actual pattern of the paper, so I thought this was a good way to use that. Now I'm pulling out a bunch of dimensional pieces that I want to use. These are chipboard stickers from AliExpress or Wish.com. I'm not sure which one I ordered them off of. And now I'm pulling out this Teresa Collins chipboard piece. Mainly I'm just going through the pieces that I like. I know I want to map my photos on some paper, and looking at the layout at the sketch, I realized that it's going to be a little bit hard to fit my title where it's supposed to be, so we're just going to figure this out one step at a time. So I pull out this random Project Life card that's in white background with an orange grid on top of it, and then I pull out this little frame. It's supposed to be an overlay, but I'm using it as a frame instead, and that is from Crepe Paper. Now I'm pulling out 3 pieces of pattern paper. 2 are from Citrus Bliss, and 1 is a cardstock piece from DCWV, and then lastly I'm pulling out a scrap of black holographic paper from DCWV as well. So lots of different things going on here. Right now I'm writing down the order that the photos are going in. Since we went 3 different days, I want them to be in chronological order. And then I'm going to mat these on white cardstock. So as you can see, the photos are very similar. If I could redo this layout, I would print the photos smaller, but since I don't have at-home printing, all my photos are 4x6, which it doesn't bother me. It's just fun to work with the same size for a while. But usually I can cut down most of my photos to smaller sizes. Like these aren't technically 4x6 because I did trim them as you saw earlier, but I'm still working on it. So now that I have these, I realize they're going to have to overlap a little bit to be looking the way I want them to. And now I'm trying to incorporate the banner section of the sketch. So I realized that the title is supposed to go in the bottom right, but there's not a lot of room down there because I'm putting this element down there, which is like a secondary title. It says Picture Perfect. So I'm going to actually put my title in the top left later, which you'll see. But for now, I'm looking at what to put underneath my photo. I think about using this washi tape, which is from Freckled Fawn, but I end up using that later and not at the bottom. So I felt like this part wasn't distressed enough, so I go back over it a few more times. And then I'm going to glue this piece down. And there's the back side of it in case you're wondering what it looked like. It's just some cute butterflies. So using my ATG tape to glue that down. And I'm leaving more room at the bottom. This is a 10-inch by 11-inch maybe piece. That doesn't sound right, but close enough. I definitely cut off a big section, maybe 2 inches off the side. So now I'm going to do the banners at the bottom. So I ended up doing a couple small banners, and then I just cut out the rest of that, but ended up doing a bunch of small banners and then 2 large banners, which I'll add in later, because the sketch had 2 large banners, and then I decided to fill in the gaps with some smaller banners here like I'm doing. So I have the black holographic triangle paper like I mentioned earlier, and then all the other papers. So I'm just going to cut those into little rectangles and then do the end fishtail pattern. As I'm going, I'm making sure I have them laid where I want them to so I know what it's going to look like. So I have the gray polka dot from Pink Paisley Citrus Bliss, the the orange cardstock from, nope, this one's the other Citrus Bliss paper, and then I have the black holographic triangle paper, and then I have the orange cardstock. So I cut all of those banners out, and now I'm back to gluing all the elements on. So this is the crepe paper overlay frame. You can kind of see that there's a reflective piece in there, and that's the plastic transparency that I'm not really using at all. So I end up putting some foam adhesive on this chipboard piece since it wouldn't lay correctly in the chipboard frame without it. And I used liquid adhesive for the plastic piece of the chipboard frame. So now I'm just going to lay down all of these banners, which I end up actually laying in the wrong spot, so I will move them all later. But whenever I do something like this, I find that using non-liquid adhesive is the best route, because that way you can peel it up. I know my liquid adhesive is pretty strong because I use the Scotch Quick Dry, and it does dry quickly. No surprises there, but see how some of the banners get cut off? I have to move those ones down. So at least I didn't have to move that many, and since the paper that I'm using as the banners and the background is strong, none of it ripped. Thank goodness. So everything's coming together along the bottom section, but I realize I still don't have a lot on the top section, so I gotta work on that. But I'm going to commit to where my photos are, and that way I can take the post-it numbers off of them. Since they're on 3 different days, I just want to make sure they're in order. So once I had them all in place like where I desired, I just firmly placed them down, and I'll start working on some more embellishing. So I pulled back that Teresa Collins chipboard arrow and put that in the bottom left of that photo. Then I also pulled out some word stickers, some chipboard pieces, some metal elements, a bunch of pieces. So I'm going to glue down this section before I forget that it's not attached, and take off all those tiny little foam adhesive squares. Sometimes I really think that foam adhesive squares are a lot easier and just so much easier to use compared to doing the foam. It's just less steps for me. I thought about using that metal bookmark thing, but I ended up not doing that. But I did pull out some of these Wild Whisper exclusive Spiegel Mom Scrap sequins. They are a beautiful mix, and they come with these really cool silver, clear, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a sequin but a hole. There's no hole in the middle, so it's like almost like a gem instead, but it's cupped still. I don't know. You can check it out in the close-up photos and the photos over on my blog, and you can pick up these sequins in the Wild Whisper store. Ariana did a really cool page in her mini album like she's doing, and it's a cool how to like make a shaker card using the photo, which is a really cool concept. I've never done anything like that before. I've done shaker pockets on my layouts before, but nothing like a photo as being the shaker element. So you guys have to check that out. Again, the link will be in my description box, and be sure to subscribe to her as well, since she has such great ideas and does the mixed media game much better than I do. So I'm looking at what to do for my title, but I do add this little Heidi Swap puffy sticker that says #rad, because hockey's cool. We're a big hockey school where I go to school, so had to add that. Now I'm still thinking about what to do for my title, but I am playing with these stickers that are from Amy Tangerine's Better Together, and I just put 2 little foam hearts to make some more contrast. Since I have the contrast from the black background and the banners, I want to make sure I bring that into other elements. I've pulled out every color of black sticker I had, and I don't end up using them. Or do I end up using them? Well, we'll see what I end up using. I know that I end up realizing that they look like they're floating, and I do not like that. So what I'm going to do to fix that problem is I'm going to grab some washi tape as soon as I'm done fiddling around with everything else. Oh, I tried to use an orange washi tape, but I go back to this Freckles Fawn washi tape like I mentioned earlier. I'm just going to tuck that slightly under my photos, so it's got like the black and white sort of motif going on that's in the background. And then I pull out the number 3 in a white letter. This is the Root Beer font, I think. It's a giant white foam 3. And then I'm thinking about using black, and I really don't like that, so I go to these stickers. They're little box stickers from Studio Calico. Really poor quality made stickers. The cuts that they made on these don't go through the sticker paper, so only like the first layer of the sticker paper peels off, so you have to glue some of them down. But that's okay, I'm going to use them anyway. And then I add a couple of these Tim Holtz label stickers just because they add a little bit extra something something and a little more black to the layout. So my title ends up being 3 games, 1 weekend, I think. Oh no, it's just 3 game weekend. Cute title. But that pretty much sums up this layout. I'll have photos at the end. Be sure to check out the Crafty Ways video down below. And I'll catch you guys next week for yellow. If you guys like these, be sure to give this a thumbs up. I'm having a blast doing these. Right now I'm just adding the little sequins at the end. But please join us in the International Scrapbook Day activities over on Instagram and all the Facebook groups. And I hope you guys have fun crafting. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!